Differences do not mean deficits. Through Autism Tennessee programs, individuals like me find support, understanding, advocate for genuine change.
When you become an adult and you have autism, it does not go away.
There's a lot that people don't see with autism. Honestly, it is. I think the things that you don't see are just as important as the things you do see.
You have to think about autistic people as disabled by their environment.
More than 90% of the people don't even know what it is. And if I tell you that I fully understand, that in itself will be a lie.
But good evening, everyone, and welcome to 2025 Afterbash. This is our fourth Afterbash, our first one, and I think what everyone agrees, this lovely, lovely venue. So this place is amazing. This is our first time here, and once again, my name is Paul Widra. I'm the president of the board of directors for Autism Tennessee. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks to your support, we've not only kept going, we've grown. Our programs have expanded, our impact has deepened, and more autistic people now have access to spaces where they are seen, heard, and valued. Definitely. We also want to give a heartfelt thank you to all of our generous sponsors, and you'll see a lot of the sponsors are listed both on screens and then on the tables. But because of our sponsors, that we can make events like this happen. The Stubblefield family, Draymore America, ABS Kids, and so many others. Thank you so much. Your belief in the mission fuels everything that we do here at Autism Tennessee. We're also grateful for the Loveless Barn for hosting us tonight. This place is gorgeous. Round of applause. Make sure you take care of the staff and the bartenders and everything. Thank you so much for that. There's no better place to gather, connect, and fill both our stomachs and our hearts. So kick back, grab a drink. I think someone's already done that, so that's good. And get ready. Tonight's program is packed with powerful moments, moving stories from our community, the announcement of our Captain Spectrum Be Kind scholarship, which is a wonderful, wonderful scholarship. So not going to be a dry eye on the house later, I guarantee it. And then moving stories about the community, the announcement of our scholarship, competitive live auction. If you haven't made a bid yet, please make a bid. I'm going to give another plug later, but we have a silent auction going on now, and later we will have a live auction with different items. And then the big reveal of our 50-50 raffle winner. I mean, why not buy a $25 ticket or $50 or $100? You know, you got a chance. I think it's $4,000 right now. So $3,600, you get half. We're going to pump that up the next couple hours. So tonight is about building a future where autistic people of all ages can thrive with safety, dignity, and opportunity. So thank you all very much for being here now. One of the main people that makes all this happen is Jessica Moore, which is our executive director. So this is Jessica, if you don't know her.
Thank you so much. As you said, I'm Jessica Moore, executive director of Autism Tennessee. Thank you, Paul. Thank you all for being here tonight. It means so much to have you all here. I think we beat the crowd we had last year as far as numbers in this room, so thank you very much for your support. Tonight is a celebration. Yes, thank you. Go ahead. I love it. Tonight is a celebration, but it's also a reminder of why we're here. You'll hear firsthand from members of the autistic community and learn more about two of our programs that are driving real change. Our Building Bridges, which is our inclusive childcare training initiative, and Drive to Thrive, which helps autistic teens and adults develop the skills and confidence they need to become independent drivers. While you enjoy dinner, you'll be sharing a slideshow from one of our favorite events, this year's Birthday Bash held at the City Forum. Even with the stormy weather that rolled in that morning, we still had over 120 members of the community come out and celebrate life, milestones, and the strength of our community. Your program that's in your hands, has all the details you need from what's coming up, who's speaking, and what's up for grabs in the live auction. And yes, the buffet actually is already open because we're starting a little bit late, so go fill your bellies. And thank you, Megan. Megan, where are you? Thank you for making the floral this evening. Thank you to all of our staff. Here you and to all of our volunteers that have come out and helped make this night successful. The floral arrangements are available for purchase, so if you want to take one home, they are in the silent auction portion. I don't want to take those home. I don't want to pack the mug up. So feel free to buy those. They're $35 a piece, and you can buy one and take it home with you. So thank you for showing up, believing in our work, and making tonight possible. So buffet is open, or we'll be opening here in a couple minutes, and thank you.
I think one of the things that this event and the speakers really show is that, an often invisible disability like autism can be, the suffering can also be invisible and can be very easy to underestimate. And so people coming, especially to groups like this and events like this, get a much more realistic sense of how hard it is to be an autistic person, or how hard it can be, right? One of the things that came up with the speakers a lot was the challenge of asking for help, right? And that's something that this organization's really, really good at, is providing help for autistic folks here in Middle Tennessee.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Jessica, so much. And thank you to Jessica and her team and all the volunteers for making tonight happen. This is a very important night for Autism Tennessee, and everyone who is has a loved one with autism is needing services and resources. So it's a very important night tonight. So enjoy the food, and there's some really cool things out there. So I saw a couple of things I was excited about. But so I am a community ambassador from Sumner County. I am a mom. I have been parenting for almost 25 years. I have 3 children who have sensory processing. I have 2 kids who are on the spectrum, who are were nonverbal or verbal delayed with other challenges as well. We did OT, speech, we've done feeding, we've done ABA, we have done early intervention, which I am a huge proponent for, and also a child who went through some trauma. So my advocacy journey has been really long, and it's had a lot of winding curves. In 2018, 2019, I was searching for an organization to get connected to, and I found Autism Tennessee, and I found Babs, and we met. She's in the back, and so we started talking about things to do in the community. Well, then the pandemic happened, right? So all along during these last several years, there are lots of us who really want more resources out there. We know that training is very, very important for anyone dealing with somebody who has autism, and resources are very important. And so that's where Building Bridges was basically birthed from. And so it's a very, very important, I feel, program that we have for training. It is a 5 to 6 hour training. It's about the early signs and symptoms of autism, how to help families, how to train staff, and it really does apply to daycares, preschools, schools, I feel businesses, organizations, and we found recently very helpful in college setting. A couple weeks ago, Jessica and I figured out how to take the 5 to 6 hour training down to an hour and a half for a group of college students who were in the early education department. And we picked out from our program, well, actually they did, along with us, what pertained to what they were learning in their classroom right now. And I have to tell you, everybody I've been able to do this training with, from nurses to newborns, daycare centers, and now colleges, the overwhelming response is how important this training was to them. And I almost want to tear up because they really need it. It gears them to feel more equipped, more empowered with what they're doing. And the teachers that I was, they're going to be teachers. The students I was working with, what I loved was they said, now we feel better to go into the classroom setting and to be able to deal with parents. And what if a child has a challenge? How do we talk to parents? So I really hope to see this program grow. Really cool is that we can do it in person and we can do it virtually. We have a slideshow, we have Participate Guide. So if anyone is interested, you can talk to me or Jessica or anybody at Autism Tennessee about utilizing this program and this training. And we added even a positive behavioral intervention part of it. I won't say intervention, it's really help that everybody seems to be craving as well at this time. And we've, also talking about sensory spaces. I wanted school, I went and helped them put together an area for sensory space for a child who would hide, and this way it kept the child in their visual eye view so they didn't have to worry about where the child was. So this is a really valuable thing. I'm so glad to be a part of this, and I'm so glad for how much Autism Tennessee is growing. And I'm so grateful to be here tonight, and thank you very much.
Autism Tennessee has supported me. I started with when the group Unveiling Autistic Identity started. I had just figured out myself at 41 years old that I was autistic, and so I needed a place to go share that experience with other people. It is an extremely unique experience, and so I needed somewhere to find other people that were going through the same thing. And that really helped me get through that transition from being a masked, seemingly neurotypical person to my authentic autistic self. Autism Tennessee continues to support me as those relationships grow, and as my relationship with Autism Tennessee grows and changes as a new staff member.
I think it's a great way to spread awareness. I'm so happy so many friends could attend it. And it is word of mouth, and I'm hoping more events will spread awareness and people can understand what it may feel like being or experiencing what autism is, and kind of understand and support that.
Good evening. I stand before you as a certified physician associate and a proud autistic self-advocate. My journey with Autism Tennessee began at a moment when I needed it most, and it transformed my life in ways I never expected. In August 2022, I moved to Nashville with high hopes, joining an institution that publicly championed equity and inclusion. However, by August 2023, the facade crumbled when I advocated for neurodivergent sensory accommodations. Not only did I face discrimination, but this institution actively took steps to remove me from my position. The same institution that publicly proclaimed its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Their actions revealed a painful truth. They only celebrated parts of me that served their public image while silencing my authentic voice. Then came my official autism diagnosis in December 2023. A moment that helped me understand that being different doesn't mean deficient. Through Autism Tennessee's Unveiling Autistic Identity program and the incredible support of Casey Davis, I discovered what true acceptance looked like. As a medical provider, I witnessed firsthand how medicine often tries to fix what isn't broken. But Autism Tennessee taught me something even more profound: the importance of disability justice and intersectionality. They helped me understand that true acceptance means embracing a person's whole identity, not just the parts that feel comfortable or convenient to acknowledge. This understanding has inspired me to challenge not only the traditional medical model of disability, but also the superficial diversity initiatives that claim to support marginalized individuals while perpetuating harm. Through published academic articles and speaking engagements, I have shared this message locally, nationally, and internationally. The truth is that performative allyship and selective acceptance can cause real harm to autistic individuals. We need genuine understanding and acceptance of ourselves, not just the part that make other people comfortable. Autistic individuals have spent generations adapting to what society deems normal. It's time for society to meet us halfway. Communication is a two-way street, and the responsibility for understanding shouldn't fall solely on autistic individuals and their supporters. If there is one message I want to leave for you all to take away tonight, is this: differences do not mean deficits. Think of it like taking a journey. There are multiple routes to reach the same destination. The goal isn't to criticize the path that others take, but to ensure everyone has resources they need to get to their destination successfully. Autism Tennessee saved my life by helping me find my voice again when facing institutional ableism. But they can't do this vital work alone. They need your support to continue safe spaces, fostering understanding and helping others like me discover their power. Your support tonight doesn't just fund programs, it creates possibilities. It helps build a world where being different is recognized as being valuable. Through Autism Tennessee programs, individuals like me find support, understanding, community, and the strength to advocate for genuine change. Thank you, Autism Tennessee, for showing me that I matter. And thank you all here tonight to ensure others can find their voice too. Thank you.
Being able to check in with your second family, because Autism Tennessee is like a second family to me, really helps keep me on track and keep me mentally stable. Checking in with them because, you know, they're like my family. I made new friends. I get to go and enjoy different experiences that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to experience.
It is a complex thing that a lot of parents and mothers and fathers and family members go through. But also at the same time, we are a special group that if you stick with us, we can do marvelous things.
It is people like, you know, the organization like Autism Tennessee, people like my wife Tina who live and practice this, who see patients. I think they understand what it means. I don't think so commoners like me fully understand what it is, but being here today and listening to everybody, it was a very touching event.
Good evening, everybody. That was such a great introduction. Thank you. All right. So my name is Ashley C. As she stated, I kind of just want to focus on my journey because I think that's why we're here. To better understand why we're even having this fundraiser, because I think some people still need to understand why autistic people struggle, why we need to help, why we really just need support. And so my journey starts in Lebanon, Tennessee. Yes, I'm from the country. All right. Home of Cracker Barrel, if you didn't know. I'm serious, look it up. So at 4 years old, I didn't know this, but it wasn't until high school that I realized that something was different about me. I didn't know what it was. My family didn't really tell me that I was different. They didn't want me to be treated differently. And then one day my mother sat me down, she had a conversation. She said, hey, do you want to go to regular high school or do you want to be in special education? I have twin cousins, right? They're in the special education department. They were treated so differently that I said, you know what? I don't want to go that route. I want to go the regular route. So I went the regular route and I struggled. Like I almost didn't graduate high school. If it wasn't for a classmate that assisted me with my math, I would not have graduated high school. And so they told me I had a hairline disability. Basically, they said it was a cognitive learning disability that was math related. And that turned out to be a misdiagnosis, right? And so even though they kind of put me in that box, it didn't really help me because I didn't have a formal diagnosis and I didn't have any support. So basically, my entire life, I went under the radar. I couldn't figure out why I struggled with jobs. I couldn't figure out why I struggled with relationships. I couldn't figure out why I struggled to live on my own, to make money for myself and support myself. And so what ended up happening was I became a workaholic. Now, in today's economy, that's not a bad thing, right? But if you're a workaholic and you got ADHD, which I do, and autism, plus you're dealing with mild depression, stress, anxiety, on top of dealing with issues that Black people deal with, it's really stressful. And so what happened was I internalized all that stress, that pain, and it felt like I just was not good enough. It felt like I wasn't working hard enough, so I worked even harder, and then I burned out. It was because of Autism Tennessee that I learned what burnout meant. I had no idea what that was. I had no idea what high functioning was, which I don't necessarily believe in that. Because high functioning is to say that, oh, hey, you're autistic, but you're not autistic enough to get help. And I run into a lot of roadblocks with that, especially with my job search. At this point, I was what did they call it? I self-diagnosed myself, right? I had a friend told me like, hey, I think you're autistic. And I said, what? You know, because I didn't think I was autistic. I thought I was fine. I didn't even think I was stressed out. Apparently that was a lie too, you know? So that was what, like 2016. So I listened to her and I said, okay, well, you know, my insurance ain't that great, so not really gonna get a diagnosis. And that's another thing. If you don't have really good insurance or the finances to get that diagnosis, even though that you have needs, you will not get them at all. And so what happens? You end up going through life struggling, and then people look at you like, oh, well, they didn't work hard enough. They didn't, you know, what is it that they say about lacing up your bootstraps? Well, that doesn't really apply to us. Okay? And so in college, I ended up applying for Disabled Student Services at MTSU, because that's where I went to school, right? Now it's called Accessible Technology Center, something like that. Much more positive name, by the way. All right. And that's when I found out that, yes, you have something going on, but it's probably not enough to get Social Security, disability, or whatever. And that was quite disheartening, because they told me it's going to be a very hard battle to prove that. And then it's like 2 or 3 years before you even get a court date to even know if you get the support that you need. And so I was job to job. I couldn't hold a job for more than like a month or two, which is insane, okay? And I didn't have paperwork. So every time that I would talk to a manager and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, could I get some accommodations? Because I didn't know that you had to have a formal diagnosis with accommodations from your doctor in order to get those accommodations. Once again, I fell under the radar, okay? So I didn't know. They told me, we would love to help you, Ashley, but we can't. So I had to work as hard as everybody else, but I knew that I had to work twice as hard as everybody else just to pay attention and to be a good employee, because I pride myself on that. I pride myself on superior customer service. That's my field. I'm a substitute teacher. I went to school today, all right? And I drove an hour and a half to be here from Murfreesboro. So I really love Autism Tennessee because they have given me hope. They're very positive. I went to my first baseball game. I'm a baseball fan now, okay? What else? Went to the Discovery Center Farm. You know, I'm doing things and engaging with people who are like me that I would have never met or experienced. And I've only been a part of Autism Tennessee for what, a year and a half? Yeah. Phenomenal, okay? We meet every month, we have Zoom calls, and it's very beneficial for my mental health. And I'm also an artist. So a lot of people don't know that art is like 90% mental, 10% creativity. And yeah, so I just wanted to like go through my story because I honestly didn't know that I would make it this far. I had like 3 years of just really intense depression. And I'm okay saying that because I'm out of it now, all right? And the only thing that brought me back was I said, you know what, art is my life. That is what I want to dedicate my life towards. And I would do everything in my power to pursue that. So I would drive from Murfreesboro to Nashville and network, meet people, and I was very shameless with it. I gave everybody my business card. I didn't care. And at first they thought I was a model. They thought I was a music artist. And I would tell everybody like, no, I'm a fine artist. And they'd be like, what is that? You know, because my family from Lebanon is not very art savvy. I'm a block printer. And actually, one of my pieces is up here on stage. So I'm a block printer. This is a print that I did of Rosa Parks. And this is carved into wood. Okay, so I carved this into wood like a stamp. And I print it by hand on paper. So if any of y'all are a fan of Hat Show Print, I actually got to go on a personal tour of that place. Love them. So that's kind of what I do. Hat Show Print is more so like typography, letterpress. This is kind of older than that. So anyway, shameless plug. Commissions are open. But I brought that up because art is my therapy. Before I started going to therapy and I found Autism Tennessee, which was recommended by my formal diagnosis doctor. And I'm so thankful that she recommended this group because I now have community. And I'm glad to say that I am now an award-winning artist. I won an award. I won an award at the Tennessee State Museum. And as she mentioned, I do workshops, primarily Frisk Art Museum. I did an art talk there. I do workshops, and I actually did a workshop for Autism Tennessee, and we had a great time. Oh my gosh. So I really love meeting other people who are on the spectrum, but also people of all walks of life. I do workshops for everyone. And I really just want everyone, when they walk away from this event, to know that when you become an adult and you have autism, it does not go away. It does not go away. I was diagnosed, it'll be 2 years in October. I'm 35. I made it, y'all. I made it. I think I'm doing pretty good for myself. So, yeah, it's just a highlight of my month to participate in the meetings, to sign up for events. And it's because of you all that we get to do those things that we wouldn't normally get to do. And it means more to us than you all would know, because we normally don't really go outside. We normally don't socialize. We have issues getting jobs. We have issues just getting through the day, getting through the week. Because I have at least one day a week where I just don't have the energy. You know, I just don't have it in me. But, you know, gotta hold it together. So advocacy is important. What you all are contributing is important. And I just want y'all to know that we really appreciate y'all. And it's because of you all that we have a place that is safe, that we can call home, because this is my home away from home. So thank you.
I am here this evening as the weak link in the speaker chain to do one of the most important things, which is to announce our awardees for our 2025 Captain Spectrum Be Kind Scholarship to honor Chris Miller. All three of the finalists this year and the awardees have one thing in common. They are very intentional about serving the autistic community and their larger communities in some way. And we believe that all three will continue to do this. They do it now and they'll continue to do it in the future as they pursue their educations. So it's my honor to announce on behalf of the Autism Tennessee Scholarship Committee our three awardees this year. The third place runner-up, as there was a tie for first place, will be awarded $500 in scholarship. It's Jamison Taylor. Jamison from Lyles, Tennessee, is a senior at East Hickman High School with a strong interest in computer science. Jamison aspires to utilize ethical computer coding and design practices in order to create safer online and offline environments, making kindness more accessible and widespread. If this world needs anything more today, I believe it's more kindness. Notably, Jameson's personal references made light of his constant willingness to lend a hand to others, as well as his optimism in the face of difficult tasks. So congratulations to Jameson on his scholarship. Our co-first place awardee is Skylar Black. Skylar from, oh God, I should have studied this. Ultiwa? What you said. Tennessee. I'm from Connecticut, in case anyone's wondering. Is pursuing a master's degree at Middle Tennessee State University and has a 3.9 grade point average presently, which is higher than mine was. After graduating, Skylar plans to attend East Tennessee State University for further education and aspires to help others as a clinical social worker. Kindness, integrity, and compassion are core values that Skylar believes are critical to becoming a social worker who helps others on the autism spectrum. So congratulations to Skylar. And our second first place awardee is Curtis R. Miller Jr. Curtis is from Big Rock, Tennessee. Thank you. I was able to get that one. Thank you very much. And is a full-time psychology student at Austin Peay State University and proudly maintains a 4.0 grade point average because we just had to keep Sky motivated, apparently. Curtis aspires to become an industrial organizational psychologist, easy for me to say, and help both autistic and non-autistic individuals work together and find compromise in day-to-day issues. Curtis is also currently in the process of editing and expanding the body of comic book work featuring Captain Spectrum that was created by Curtis's brother, Chris Miller, for whom this scholarship is named. Some of Chris's work, by the way, is in the silent auction. If you have not seen it, it's beautiful. Please consider putting in a bid on that in honor of Chris. Captain Spectrum was Chris Miller's alter ego, and Curtis helped Chris bring Captain Spectrum to life, assisting as both writer and editor. Curtis, congratulations, and thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you all very much. It is always an honor to be at these events. I have a son on the spectrum, and the speakers, other than me, that have been at these events over the last few years that I've been on the board have been truly inspiring. Please do bid early, bid often. The live auction is coming up. Just don't bid on the stuff I'm bidding on, but everything else, by all means, go to work. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Crystal Miller. I'm the mother of Curtis and Chris. Congratulations, Curtis. Tonight I want to introduce you to someone some of you may know who isn't just a hero from the pages of a comic book. He's a real life hero. He was my son, Chris Miller. But many of you might know him by his alter ego, Captain Spectrum. Chris was born February 3rd, 2002, on Super Bowl Sunday, 51 minutes before the kickoff. My husband and doctor threatened to leave and go across the restaurant to watch the game. We named Chris Christopher Ryan Paul Miller. I wanted him to have a strong name. Christopher means bearing Christ. Ryan means the king. So his name literally means bearing Christ the king. Chris loved fishing, hunting, and camping. Anything outdoors. He was a Boy Scout. And just 6 months before he passed, he won second place in his first pro fishing tournament. He believed in helping everyone and every living thing. His kindness had no limits. He was a bright light to everyone he met. He could light up any room, and his hugs had healing powers. Chris lived life in full color. He didn't see the world in black and white. He saw people the way God made them, diverse, beautiful, and worthy of love. Every day was an adventure to him, and I loved watching him explore, seeing him discover the world no matter how small the wonder. Chris was a character, funny, full of jokes, full of life. He had a wild imagination, a deep sense of justice, and a fascination with everything in the nature. But what truly set Chris apart wasn't just his curiosity, it was his heart. As he grew, Chris began to see the world not just as beautiful, but also broken. He saw kids getting bullied, left out, targeted for being different, and he knew that pain all too well. Chris was bullied for stimming, for simply being himself, and at just 12 years old, he attempted to take his own life. But Chris didn't give up. He leaned in. He wanted to understand that cruelty, not to get revenge, but to change it. He wanted someone to save him from the bullies. And in time, he became that someone, not just for himself, but for others. While recovering at Vanderbilt, something powerful happened. Chris imagined a hero, not one who flew or punched through walls, but a protector. One with courage, compassion, and a heart wide enough to hold the whole world. That's when Captain Spectrum was born. Captain Spectrum isn't your average superhero. He doesn't shoot lasers from his eyes. He doesn't fight with fists. His weapon is empathy, understanding, and boundless compassion. Chris, diagnosed with autism himself, created Captain Spectrum to stand for every child and adult on the autism spectrum, for anyone who's ever felt different, misunderstood, or alone. He turned every challenge he faced, bullying, exclusion, being underestimated, into a mission to protect, to inspire, to uplift. And his costume that he created was a vibrant, multicolored suit, each color representing the beauty and diversity of the spectrum. But his true superpower is still compassion. He showed us that being different is not a weakness, it's a strength. In high school, Chris founded the Defend and Be a Friend Club, a movement to end bullying. He spoke openly about his own journey, helping others know they weren't alone. Through his alter ego, Chris showed us that real heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear hoodies. Sometimes they speak through art or kindness or action. He channels light. He connects people. He teaches us that every voice, every color, every soul matters. He reminds us that real strength lies in spectrum, not in sameness. Chris taught us that autism is not something to hide. It's part of who we are, and who you are something to be proud of. Bullying has no place, not in our schools, not in our workplaces, not in our communities, and not in our hearts. And thanks to Chris and his alter ego, Captain Spectrum, we have a shining example of how to lead with compassion and courage. He reminds us all, you don't need to fly to be a hero. You just need to stand up, speak out, and shine. And when the world feels dim, even when the world feels dim, Hollywood superheroes can't compare to the real-life hero Chris was, because his story is true. Chris created Captain Spectrum to fight back against bullying, and tragically, he lost his life at college because of bullying, the result of a cruel prank that went too far. We are still in lawsuits with the state. We are still fighting for justice. I have reached out to senators, congressmen, representatives, but no one will meet with me to help change laws in our colleges and our schools unless I drop the lawsuit against the state or until it is over. Still, we will not stop fighting. So tonight, let's honor Chris and the incredible bold spirit of his alter ego by doing what he did every single day. Lift each other up, be kind, be brave, be the light. To the man behind the mask, the mind behind the mission, and the heart behind the hero. To my son, Chris Miller, our very own Captain Spectrum. Now, please watch and listen closely, because for just a brief few seconds, Chris has something he wants to say to you.
Hey, don't just go past me talking to you. I want you to know that you are very appreciated today, and I love you. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Also, click that subscribe button right there.
With that being said, I want to make a special announcement. Bikers Against Bullies, who Chris was a member of, they reached out to him after he made his first attempt when he was 12. They reached out to me to help organize a memorial ride for Chris with the goal of raising funds for the scholarship created in his name. The event is officially scheduled for Saturday, August 9th at Stewart County Visitor Center in Dover, Tennessee, 11 to 3 p.m. I'm excited to share that all the food will be generously provided by our county mayor, Boo Beecham, and his wife. They own Mama Mia's in Dover and graciously offered to donate pizzas for the entire event. And he said, if we run out, we'll just go next door and get more. As many of you know, most of the people in my town knew Chris personally and wanted to support his cause. The Stewart County Sheriff's Department has also stepped in to help. They've agreed to meet the Bikers Against Bullies and any biker who wants to ride for the cause at the county line and escort them to the visitor center. It's going to be a powerful and meaningful ride. Once at the visitor center, Autism Tennessee will be hosting an anti-bullying back-to-school bash. This event is all about raising awareness and spreading a strong positive message as students head into the new school year. It will shine a light on the mission of Autism Tennessee, Bikers Against Bullies, and most importantly, Christopher's message of standing up against bullying. This is truly a community-wide effort, a chance to show our students that they are not alone and that there are people who genuinely care and are ready to support them. For many, this will also be the first introduction to Autism Tennessee and the important work we're doing. I'm hopeful it will be the beginning of something powerful for our community and our organization. If any of you are interested in participating, you can email the support line at Autism Tennessee or me at crystal@autismtn.org. You can also donate tonight with the QR code on the sign up here or on the website. Thank you.
Picture if I'm a PlayStation and someone tries to put an Xbox game into my system, right? It doesn't mean it's broken. It doesn't mean that it's not working. You know, it just means it's different than what the system is, right? So it's not a bad different. It's not anything. It's just people are different and we're unique. And when we open our minds and we're, again, lifelong learners, we can start to see how special everybody is in their own unique way.
But yeah, autism to me is, like they say, a spectrum. But to me, it's a spectrum of creativity and just different ways of thinking. Because if you think of it any other way that's negative, then you're putting yourself in a box, and then all those negative connotations and labels, and you get put in a box, and then yeah, it's just not good for autistic people to talk negatively. Because we think differently, therefore we provide different things to society.
And the challenge when you hate yourself that much, on top of just generally being autistic and struggling in the world, is it is impossible to ask for help because you're just perpetually terrified that people are going to pull the rug out from under you. I'm not going to say everything in my life has been bad. Kind of what precipitated that letter was a difficult period in my life. So within the span of probably about 3 years, I went through a divorce, had several surgeries, was living out of boxes and couch surfing for probably 5 or 6 months. The reason I'm alive is because of Autism Tennessee. Because honestly, I stopped going to the meetings for a while and struggling with stuff and had missed a couple meetings, and she reached out and said, hey, how are you doing? I'm a wreck. I ultimately ended up getting a job through Autism Tennessee through something called Leadership Nashville. I spoke there with less details about some of the stuff that I'm talking about now, and was super grateful to get a job at S3, who we've sponsored. We're one of the sponsors for this event tonight, and was super happy about that.